together.
Marvel Studios Thunderbolts.
With the release of the Thunderbolts movie, the film's post-credits scene has become a major talking point. Among all the MCU films we've seen so far, this movie had the longest post-credits scene. Marvel chose to use the Thunderbolts film to introduce an Avengers team in a hurry before the Avengers Doomsday movie. And I had previously explained in other videos why this was the most logical and sensible decision. The characters within the team are almost on par with an Avengers lineup. And considering that, it made sense for a group of people eager to become heroes to turn into the Avengers. More members will surely be added to the team in the future, but for now, forming a group of super soldiers to protect the world was a sensible move. The post-credits scene directly ties into the Fantastic Four movie, which in turn leads into the events of Avengers Doomsday. In fact, the final scene of the Fantastic Four film connects to the MCU, and this post-credits scene will essentially be the beginning of the Avengers Doomsday movie. Of course, I'll touch on everything step by step. Don't worry. While I tell you the latest details about the post-credits scene, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video, so you don't miss out on upcoming content.
You thought you were gonna be some great saviors? You can't even save yourself.
The new Avengers team includes extremely powerful characters. As I've said from the beginning, the Thunderbolts logo has been changed to the New Avengers. I've been pointing this out since the first trailer breakdown because they were clearly trying to highlight the star at the end of the logo. If you watch the film, you know that this team never really called themselves the Thunderbolts. It was just the name of a group Yelena had been part of when she was younger. In the comics, there was a Dark Avengers team that included Sentry. That team was originally formed by Norman Osborn. Perhaps Marvel hesitated on the naming due to copyright concerns because the team was initially supposed to be introduced as the Dark Avengers. As you know, Bucky was in the team as the Winter Soldier, and now he's a senator. So he's using his immunity skills to the fullest. The idea behind the Dark Avengers wasn't a rogue team acting on their own, but rather a group bound by government orders and regulations. At the end of the film, the newly formed Avengers team is entirely a government-controlled organization because even the tower they operate from is now fully owned by the government. It's also important to highlight that the team includes some very powerful characters. Bucky is now much stronger than before. He used to have a titanium arm, but now it's vibranium. In the past, Bucky nearly defeated Iron Man. If he had the vibranium arm in that scene, he could have ripped out Stark's reactor. Red Guardian was already a super soldier developed by the Russians, but because of his age and being out of shape, he stayed in the background. Becoming a member of the Avengers was his biggest dream, and after achieving that, he began taking better care of himself. John Walker made an incredible comeback in this movie. In the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, no one liked the character of John Walker, but we saw that with a good storyline and action scenes, even John Walker can become likable. In the film, once again, John Walker's abilities as a super soldier were highlighted. Also, in the movie, Sentry had bent Walker's shield and just left it like that. Even after 14 months, John Walker was still using the same shield, and it seems like he didn't get it fixed. Apparently, he's going to keep using it that way. As for Ghost, she was already the most powerful member of the team. Even though I hate her for killing Taskmaster, Ghost's powers are extremely important for the Avengers team. Coming to Yelena, her goal from the beginning was to replace Natasha as the new Black Widow. But she always stood out as the weakest member, seeming rather dull compared to the others. Finally, they show that Sentry, or Robert Reynolds, is part of the team. However, as we feared from the start, they won't be able to fully utilize Sentry's powers. Since they're afraid the Void might resurface if Sentry uses his powers, Robert has basically turned into someone who just does the dishes most of the time. He's become an ineffective member. You could say that the Sentry is this team's Bruce Banner. But while Bruce Banner is afraid of turning into Hulk, and only does so when absolutely necessary, he was still extremely useful as a scientist. Most likely, they'll also show that Sam Wilson as the new Captain America and Joaquin Torres as the new Falcon will be joining the team. Now, when you look at it like this, is it a great team? Definitely not. But at a time when the world has no defense force left, you could say they're a team that can get the job done. We were shown in the film that the Avengers compound had been restored and turned into the Vorge Tower. But with the introduction of the new Avengers team, the Vorge Tower has once again been transformed into the Avengers Tower. In the continuation of the post-credit scene, we see that the Fantastic Four's spaceship, already shown in trailers, somehow crosses over into the MCU. Just like how the X-Men discovered a rift in the universe and found Monica in the Marvel's movie, the new Avengers team also notices the ship entering their universe. The ship has the Fantastic Four's logo on it, and from its design alone, we could already tell it belonged to them. As I've mentioned in previous videos I've prepared, the barriers between universes have started to fall. As these barriers disappear, moving from one universe to another will become possible. However, when all the worlds start aligning on the same plane, either one of them will be destroyed, or both will be completely shattered. Without watching the Fantastic Four movie, we can't know for sure who's inside that ship, friends. Maybe Doctor Doom has stolen the ship and already entered the MCU. We really don't know what to expect in the film, so it's very difficult to make a definite comment. Perhaps the world the Fantastic Four lived in is completely destroyed, and they've come to the MCU to save themselves. But I think the barriers between universes have started to break down, just like in the Marvel's movie. Portals that allow travel from one universe to another have opened. Maybe the reason Galactus is coming to this world is actually because these universal barriers have fallen. At this point, they might show that Loki is no longer able to hold the branches of the multiverse and is starting to weaken. Because while the multiverse continues to grow constantly, at some point the branches will need to be pruned. In Marvel Comics, the Secret Wars story actually started like this too. The multiverse began to deteriorate, and the branches keeping the universes alive were no longer nourished well enough. It became necessary for worlds to battle, where only the strongest universes could survive. If the Fantastic Four's world is gone, that would mean Doctor Doom's world is gone too. Don't forget, friends, Doctor Doom is the ruler of Latveria. And if something happens to the world, it means Latveria is gone too. With this kind of motivation, Doctor Doom may have gotten tired of the infinite threats across the multiverse and could be stepping in to take control and reverse the situation. The idea of the Fantastic Four abandoning their own world and escaping feels very odd to me. Either they must have been dragged into the MCU by accident, or they succeeded in escaping and came to seek support and make a plan. Otherwise, introducing the Fantastic Four team into the MCU for the first time in such a fearful manner would make them look weak. So, even though the Fantastic Four's ship appears in the post-credits scene, we can't say with 100% certainty that the whole team is here yet. In the announced cast of Avengers Doomsday, it was confirmed that all members of the Thunderbolts, except Taskmaster, would be in the film. In addition, the names of a few characters we've seen before were revealed. However, while the entire Fantastic Four team appears in the film, Robert Downey Jr.'s name was mentioned as Doctor Doom. If the Fantastic Four's world was destroyed and Reed Richards is responsible for it, then they're in trouble. Even if there are infinite realities, no world is quite like your original one. Or at least, no one wants to lose their own world. To give Doctor Doom a strong motivation, they might portray him as a victim of the multiversal war. At least, this was the first possibility that came to my mind while watching the post-credit scene. At the end of the scene, it was revealed that the new Avengers and Bob would return. Here, they're separating Bob, meaning the character Sentry, from the new Avengers team. So there are two possibilities. Either they're sidelining Sentry because he was ineffective in the team, or the new Avengers lineup will change after Doomsday and Secret Wars. But even if the team changes, they might still plan a solo film for Sentry. That could be why they listed Bob's name separately. In the end, if Sentry can't use his powers in the Avengers Doomsday film, or if using them would remove everyone else from the game, then the character won't have much meaning. Alright friends, I hope you enjoyed the content I prepared. If there are other videos you'd like to see, don't forget to leave them in the comments. That's all from me for now. Take care and goodbye.